What up? Your boy MC Shadow, still right here in the southeast. Gonna be representing now for the city of Norwalk and Artesia, putting them both together, because, I mean, they're neck and neck right there and be going at it. So it's only right that you put them, in the same one. Now, so we're gonna be putting it down for the southeast and for those cities. I'm gonna be bringing too, also to the G files. I'm gonna be bringing neighborhoods outside of California. I think I'm gonna start with Nebraska or Las Vegas. That'll probably be coming on later on today. You know what I mean? So stay tuned for that. But as of right now, you know what I mean? The G life, for the southeast, these riders over here. So I'm gonna be starting it off with. It's a G life, swerving in a G ride. Who bang, homie, clutching on the 4-5. Don't ever slip, cause you do, boy, that lead flies. Cause at the bottom we stay hunting in that moonlight. You hear the click, you hear the bang when we pass by. This ain't a game fool, the riders really earn stripe. That's on the gang fool, forever on that main line. And it's a thin line, so homie better act right. We keep it active, really active up on this side. You hear the whistle as they're throwing up their gang signs. The crime rate in the hood always stays high. Banging for the Vader, trucha for the one time. We stay posted, drinking till the sunrise. We stay posted, drinking till the sunrise. It's that G life, swerving in the G ride. Who bang, homie, clutching on that 4-5. Don't ever slip, cause you do, boy, that lead flies. Cause at the bottom. And here we have Vader Norwalk. Norwalk is a big neighborhood. Runs a big chunk out of the city of Norwalk. You know what I'm saying? Vader Norwalk is right there. North of 166th Street, towards Hopland. They're also by Excelsior High School. Through those back ends, like I said, man, they run a good chunk size of their neighborhood. I mean, they got a gang of cliques because they deep. You know what I mean? They got up to I think like 8 or 9 cliques. You know what I mean? Most known, obviously, are the one ways, because of the one ways streets in the city of Norwalk. Right there on Pioneer Boulevard. Obviously, Pioneer Boulevard to Southern to 166th Street. Definitely the neighborhoods in Norwalk definitely be clashing with the neighborhoods in Artesia. You know what I mean? Artesia and Norwalk have been beefing it. Man, they've been beefing it since like the 60s and 70s. You know what I mean? So their beefs go way back. You know what I'm saying? Now Norwalk is a neighborhood that's old school, man. Norwalk's been around since like 1939, 1940. Por ahí. So this neighborhood's already been around here for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Doing their thing. Even though there's other neighborhoods in Norwalk, you keep this in mind. Norwalk is a big city. There is other smaller neighborhoods in the city of Norwalk. I think there's up to like 5 other barrios besides Norwalk, right here in the city of Norwalk. But Norwalk is the deepest and the biggest. They definitely do not play around. They with the business, they with the function. They be right there representing for their neighborhood. You know what I mean? Shout out to the homie Bullet from Norwalk. Shout out to the homie Villain from Norwalk. Shout out to the homie Beast from Norwalk. And shout out to Little Cuete from Norwalk. Camarada right there. Obviously, Norwalk's been put on the map by Little Cuete. He's a rapper out the city of Norwalk. Feed me camarada right there. And yeah, do your thing, my boy. And shout out to all the homies from Vader Norwalk that be representing right there. You know what I'm saying? Here we have Spray Street Locos. Now, Spray Street Locos is right here in the city of Norwalk by Sara Mendoza Park. Is where you can find their neighborhood. Not only on Sara Mendoza Park, but obviously through the back ends. So on Spray Street and Everest and Jersey is where their hood's at. They're a small hood. They've been around since the late 80s. They were small, always been small. You don't really hear about them as much, or you don't really see them up as much as before, actually. You know what I mean? It's kind of how the Norwalk neighborhoods kind of have you know, in Artesia neighborhoods, kind of have everything on lockdown over there. It's kind of hard for all these other subsets, you know, to be expanding and stuff like that. Especially these guys, because their territory is, you know, like roughly small. You know, they don't really got that much breathing room. But nonetheless, you know, that's who they are. You know, Spray Street Locos. You know, so they still got their riders right there representing nonetheless. You know what I mean? Here we have peaceful Vader Norwalk. Peaceful Vader Norwalk is right here by the little lake park. You know, on Pioneer Boulevard and Plunton Street is where you can find. Also on Tina Street, on Kenny Street. You know, on Bela Street. Throughout all of these back ends is where you can find Vital Peaceful Norwalk. Now, the reason it's called Vital Peaceful Norwalk is because on this side of Norwalk, it looks nice, man. You know, like it looks like it's a pretty nice, calm area. But like I have said before, hey, don't let the looks deceive you, homie. I mean, just because something looks nice doesn't mean that it is nice. You know what I'm saying? Like all it takes is a fool to run up with a Glock, homie, and that's it. Se llamó. You know what I mean? So despite the area looking nice and looking peaceful and calm, it's the opposite of what it is. You know what I mean? So that's why their name is Peaceful Vader Norwalk. You know, they took that I guess you could say kind of like a wannabe insult. You know, like kind of trying to like clown because they come from the nice area. You know, and they just took that and ran with it. You know what I mean? Like, although you could say what you want, like it's peaceful and all, you guys come from the race side, whatever. But if these fools are putting in work and laying fools down, I mean, who's the joke really on? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's why they're called Peaceful Vader Norwalk. They definitely be doing the thing. They, like I said, they've been around here for a while. They've been around since the 80s doing their thing. You know, so you know that's what's up with Peaceful. Shout out to the homie Peanut from Peaceful Vader Norwalk. Firme camarada, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the homie Spider from Peaceful Vader Norwalk as well. Shout out to all the homies from Peaceful that be representing right there in the city of Norwalk. Here you have Orange Street Locos. Now the Orange Street Locos, right here in Norwalk, they're on Orange and Claridel Avenue. Been around since the 80s. Another neighborhood that's you know, roughly small right here, you know, due to, you know, the Norwalk, you know, having everything kind of like on lockdown, you know, and you know, they don't really give that much breathing room for competition, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, man, you know, even though they're roughly a small neighborhood, they still keep it active. You still see their activities by them. You know, still catch them posted. You know what I mean? Representing, doing their thing right there, going at it with the surrounding neighborhoods. Yeah, but they ain't no chumps. You know what I mean? They're with the business, handling it right there. You know, representing for their neighborhood. You know what I mean? Shout out to the homie Spanky from Orange Street Logos, Firme Camarada, and shout out to the homies from Orange right there that be holding it down. Now here you have the neighborhood, Barrio Norwalk neighborhood. Not to be confused with Norwalk, two different neighborhoods. You know what I mean? These are, you know, this is called neighborhood Barrio Norwalk. Started off as a crew actually, that turned into a hood. But this happened like, ooh, we're talking about the early '80s. You know what I mean? Mid '80s. So they've been around for a cool minute, representing for their neighborhood. Now their neighborhood is right there where the Vista Verde park's at. You know, you could also find them right there on Vista Verde, and that's where their neighborhood's at. You know what I mean? You know, through those ends, through those back ends is where their neighborhood's at. They're decent size, you know, they pretty deep. They've been, like I said, since the 80s, so they've been right here doing their thing for a cool minute, you know what I mean? They're one of those neighborhoods in Norwalk that, you know, Norwalk wasn't able to, like, just, you know, punk them into becoming their neighborhood, or them claiming a chunk out of the city of Norwalk, but that's why it's like the rivalry between the neighborhoods. But yeah, nonetheless, man, right here, neighborhood Norwalks definitely be representing for their neighborhood, be holding it down, and doing the thing right there. Shout out to the homie Sad Boy from neighborhood, Firme Camarada. Shout out to the homies from neighborhoods that be holding it down. Now here we have representing for the city of Artesia is Artesia 13, or as known as Arte 13. One of the neighborhoods that's known for Boxer Enrique. Obviously, he's the one that wrote the book, The Black Hand, one of the informants that helped the Juras bring a blow to the Mexican mafia. Now, Arte is an old school neighborhood. They've been around since the 40s as well. 50s or late 40s, early 50s. Definitely the neighborhoods in Artesia, because they're not the only neighborhood in Artesia, even though people think that, because, we'll get into the next neighborhood, but I'm saying they definitely go at it with the neighborhoods in Norwalk and Artesia. Definitely do not see eye to eye, you know what I'm saying? Because they got their heavy beef, you know what I mean? Now, Arte is right there on Artesia Boulevard and Clara Street, Hart Street, Plum Street, through those back ends. It's already like the border. Even though you can find them throughout Artesia, roaming around and everything, this is like their home base, their strong base. As you can see why they would have beef, sharing almost the same schools as Norwalk, and sharing almost the same turf, like through these back ends is like, you're already knocking into Norwalk already, it's they're neighbors, you know what I mean? So that's going to create some dysfunction because these neighborhoods been beefing it for a long time. You know what I mean? But Arte is an old school neighborhood. They deep, they with the business. I know that Enrique Boxer, who snitched, doesn't mean that their neighborhood are snitches or chumps or anything like that. I mean, they with the function, like one bad apple doesn't describe the tree. You know what I mean? And plus, Enrique, before he turned witness, he was with the business. He was dropping food left to right. So, Arte, is a witty neighborhood, and they're still right here holding it down and representing for their neighborhood. You know what I mean? Here we have Barrio Chivas. Now, Barrio Chivas is another old school neighborhood, been around for a cool minute already since the 60s, 70s, you know what I mean? Now, Vader Chivas is right there on Clarkdale Avenue, also on Alien Avenue, right there through those back ends. So you can find them on Arkansas Street, 167th Street, 168th Street, 169th Street. It's where you can find them. So now with Chivas, you already know Chivas is already considered the city of Artesia. Now Artesia and Norwalk's neighborhoods definitely do not get along. They be clashing, and so basically what separates the two neighborhoods, right? Or you could consider Norwalk's neighborhoods and Artesia's neighborhoods. The thing that separates them is 165th Street. That's the street that separates both neighborhoods. So that's the street where the battles be going down in. You know what I mean? That because that's already when you're crossing into theirs and them crossing into theirs. So you can understand why that is the field where they meet at to have their gun plays, and why all the battles be happening right there on Pioneer Boulevard and through 165th and throughout those back ends, close to the freeway, the 90 freeway, because that's the battlegrounds, that's what separates both sides, you know what I mean? But yeah, Chivas, they're a smaller neighborhood out of Artesia or whatever, they're the smallest neighborhood out of, I guess you could say, the neighborhoods in Norwalk and the neighborhoods in Artesia. But nonetheless, man, they be right here representing, putting it down. They ain't no chumps, they ain't no pushovers, even though they're not as large as their counterpart neighborhoods. They still be right here holding it down nonetheless, you know what I mean? And representing, for the neighborhood. Shout out to the homie Pelon from Chivas. That's a firme homie right there. And shout out to the homie boy from Chivas, another firme camarada. And shout out to all the homies from Chivas that be representing.